Alright, so the details for the 4 new Euphoria characters coming with Anniversary are out, and honestly, some of them are pretty wild, but also falls within my expectation. First up, let's talk about Lucy. Like I've mentioned in my last video, Lucy's Euphoria slots her into the new Dynamo array system. This system is gonna include Euphoria Lucy, Euphoria Ezra, and Auric. And the most important part of this team is of course the special array that can be enhanced with dynamos. When you have character with this dynamo array system in the team, they'll automatically deploy a surging electric field level 1 at the start of the turn if one isn't already active. Every character in this system contributes dynamo to level it up. Level 2 needs 50 dynamos and level 3 need 120 total or 70 more from level 2. While the duration does refresh every time it's leveled up, the array itself will still expire eventually, so you will have to redo the rank up process periodically with this team. Now, when it was just Ezra, things were a bit rough. He could only chip in 20 dynamos per turn, and that's if he was spamming his skills. But now with 3 characters in the mix, it's going to be way easier to manage. Auric can passively support Dynamo each turn, and that amount increases based on how many times his allies have added Dynamo during this turn. He will also apply and gain tons of Dynamo from his ultimate and potentially skills. As for Lucy, instead of consuming Dynamo with her evolve skill like before, her evolve skill will now be giving that Dynamo to the array. Beyond just charging the array with Dynamo for the buff it provides, each character in the system also has their own unique interaction with it depending on its level. For Ezra, it looks like he'll be a viable passive sustain now. He'll automatically plant one of each mushroom every turn, and if the array is at least at level 2, those mushrooms will instantly fully grow and give a shield equal to his rank 2 skill 2, stacking up to 60% of max health. Then there's Auric. He'll get at least 3 Moxies when the array hits level 3, and his channeling buff will also get a bigger boost each turn with it. Now, Lucy's kit has gotten a complete overhaul. She's no longer focused on getting extra follow-up attack from killing enemies. In fact, killing enemy doesn't even grant Dynamo anymore. But don't worry, this doesn't mean she'll evolve her skill slower. Actually, she'll probably evolve much faster whether she gets killed or not. Lucy gets 1 skill evolution for every 20 Dynamo the team gains. With 3 Dynamo characters on the team, herself included, it's super likely she'll hit full evolution by turn 3 in pretty much every fight. She'll also gain her attack buff from evolving her skills, which she used to only gain from killing or using her ultimate, which allows her to be stacking this buff much faster as well. Though you'll definitely still want to be using her ultimate often since it still gives her that sweet Afflatus advantage effect. Just like the other 2 characters, Lucy gets a bonus if Dynamo Array reaches a certain level. When the array hits requirement, Lucy will gain some overcharging ammunition, which grants 10 Dynamo on hit. She will also gain more of it if her attack crit while under this effect, which allows her to generate a tons of Dynamo in the process. On top of that, Lucy gets an additional damage boost on her skills based on the array level, and it also allows her skill to benefit from Ultimate Might. Yes, Ultimate Might. In fact, both Auric and Lucy have part of their kit that let them benefit from Ultimate Might on attack that normally cannot. This is just a hunch, but I think the 4th best in slot character for this team on release will be Euphoria Millennia, considering her ability to provide an insane 72% ultimate might to the team, though I'm not 100% sure if the critical buff she provides will also work with the team. Probably not, but we'll see. Okay, moving on to Jessica's Euphoria. And man, I am so happy for her, because she's actually good now even without looking at the numbers. Like I've said before, the Poison team has been seriously lacking a 4th character. Nobody really synergized directly with their Genesis damage niche, and the hacks in the team takes all the action point for themselves. Jessica is just perfect here. Thanks to this Euphoria, she's become a passive poison enhancing detonator. With this Euphoria, Jessica will now periodically apply a new debuff to the enemy. The wording in the announcement was a little vague, so I'm not 100% sure if this will be applied with her attack or if it's an automatically thing that hits all enemy. Either way, this debuff will cause the poison on enemy to resolve an extra time without reducing the poison's duration. This debuff also makes enemy take increased poison damage and applies bacteria to them each time poison resolves. This bacteria stacks then gets consumed and turned into more poison the next time she applied that debuff onto the enemy. On top of all this, her ultimate will also fully detonate all poison stack on enemies. You don't even have to worry about generating Moxie for her ultimate either. At the end of the turn, if there is enough poison stacks on the enemy with the most poison, Jessica will automatically attack the enemy with the most health using her skill 1, and generate 1 Moxie from it. This makes her a completely passive character, the perfect fourth for the poison team. Next up, we have Semmelweise. So, just as we expected, she's going to play a more supportive sub-DPS role in the new Blood Ember team. Similar to Eternity, she'll gain bonus max health and then increase the team's max health based on her own. Her skill 2 will have its damage bonus buff and duration increased against main target, and the crit rate buff it grants will also add a crit damage part and no longer require an incantation to be actively casted. Her array is also getting a boost. It now additionally boosts the team's healing based on HP loss and give the team a follow-up damage bonus if the max Blood Ember reach a certain threshold. And it further boosted against the target with her skill 2's buff. Why follow-up bonus, you ask? Well, beside her own main damage source still being a follow-up, Nautica also does a significant amount of her attack as follow-up. One of Nautica's skill 2 is the counter, which is a follow-up. She'll also do her special skill 3 each time a certain amount of Blood Ember is generated, and that's a follow-up attack. And lastly, her ultimate is a channeling ability that ends instantly, which probably make it a follow-up attack. The era of when Bluepox specified that a character's attack is not a follow-up has been long gone. Anyway, with this new kit, you'll likely only be using Semmelweise skill 2 in combat, and not very often at that. So, how do you get to her ultimate? Well, don't worry, just like Jessica, Semmelweise also gets some free Moxie added to her kit. For each time a certain amount of Blood Ember is generated, Semmelweise will get 1 free Moxie. I'm guessing that in a complete HP loss team, Semmelweise will probably have her ultimate up pretty much all the time for free. And finally, let's look at our captain Regulus. So, before I had 2 theories on what her role in an Impromptu team would be. She could be more like a 5th person, or she could be a substitute for someone. And the answer is, she's mostly a substitute for Voyager. Well, not completely. She and Voyager actually branch out into 2 different niches. Voyager mostly brings 2 things to the table, her sniping ability with her ultimate and turning Impromptu into an AoE attack. Regulus Euphoria on the other hand have more consistent sniping ability and more inspiration generation, but does not have the AoE utility Voyager has. Regulus passively let the first attack of the character directly in front of her each turn dictate the main target of Impromptu. On top of that, she'll also create a precast card each turn. This card will add inspiration to the Impromptu incantation of that turn, based on the highest inspiration amount from a card that wasn't used last turn. Now, there is a very good chance that this card will be a versatile card and won't cost any action point to use. The only question I have right now is if this card will be affected by card fusing. Either way, this effect could give Impromptu damage a pretty decent lift. Regulus' special buff, Restless Heart, has also changed. She'll now gain this at the beginning of the combat, and instead of losing it on use, she'll now only lose it if she failed to crit with her attack, which, with the 50% crit buff it provides, is very unlikely. Plus, she also gains sturdiness each turn while the buff is active. And of course, if she does lose the effect, you just need to not act with her for 1 turn to get it back. And lastly, just like every other Impromptu character, her ultimates add inspiration to the Impromptu of the turn. Outside of all the Euphoria this time, I think the weakest definitely is Regulus, but even then, she's still a very useful Impromptu member. Sure, she can't really replace Barcarola or Aleph, and will only be useful replacement for Voyager when smaller enemies don't matter, or when you don't want to attack them at all. But that's only if we're trying to absolutely maximize our damage output. And let's be honest, no content right now need the full might of the Impromptu incantation team, because that team is just that broken. You can absolutely use Regulus and Voyager together. Just make sure to not miss Caparina. And that's all the Euphoria news that's coming with the anniversary. I don't usually look this far ahead with this kind of content, but hey, it's the anniversary patch, so it's exciting stuff. What do you guys think about all this Euphorias? Are you happy or maybe a little disappointed with one? Leave a comment down below and let me know. As always, this has been Steampunk Next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.